Another 3-hour episode of SmackDown, and again it feels like nothing really significant is happening, especially considering it's the Royal Rumble season. I gotta be honest, to me these shows lately feel like 3-hour episodes of filler in a way, and I wanna be really careful with this because at the end of the day, like, I do understand these talent are doing a great job, the wrestling is really good on SmackDown, but I got numb to it. And I did this to myself, people. I made a mistake by getting complacent, making repetitive content. Basically, I keep making Raw and SmackDown reviews lately, because I got too comfortable on YouTube. And that is definitely not the goal. Like, the goal was always trying to make interesting content and making people laugh, but at a certain point when you're making the same video over and over again, I feel like I told you everything at this point. Like, I was watching this episode of SmackDown and I'm like, well, nothing new. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and I feel like you guys can tell when I'm not that into wrestling, when I'm feeling the burnout. And I'm not necessarily feeling that from YouTube, I'm feeling that from making Raw and SmackDown reviews. All of this to say, I'm going to focus on different type of content. Let me be completely honest with you guys right here. As a content creator especially, from Raw and SmackDown, what you want is something significant to happen. Because if it doesn't happen, if you keep watching the same episode, I don't even know how to title these videos at this point, alright? Again, the wrestling was really good on this show. I like this little side story between Rey Mysterio and Kevin Owens, Jacob Fatu talking. And look people, maybe it's just me, but when you watch wrestling every single week, when you make videos about wrestling, when wrestling is literally your job, you kind of get numb to it. And all I'm trying to say is I want to focus on being a bit more creative, because doing the same thing over and over again, it's definitely not good for me. But people, let's talk about this episode. But I want to start by talking about the sponsor of today's video, Wrestling GM, the best wrestling simulation game out there, where you can fantasy book any real-life situation or match within the game. For example, we all love Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, so in Wrestling GM, you can actually recreate that. Or you can pick a star and make sure he becomes the next Stone Cold Steve Austin of your universe. You see, in Wrestling GM, you can create your own universe. You can create your own company, wrestlers, championships, and even in-depth characters like managers and commentators. One of the best things about Wrestling GM is that you can upload custom photos and avatars to recreate real-life superstars. And you can even give them custom backstories. So pretty much you can have real wrestlers in Wrestling GM. And as you guys know, being a GM is all about competition. So in Wrestling GM, you compete against AI companies in a viewership war to see who puts on the best show for the fans. People, Wrestling GM is available on the App Store and the Google Play Store, so make sure to download the game right now by using the link in the description below. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Now, like I've said, not a lot happened on this episode, and I keep telling you, 3 hours of SmackDown was a mistake. Especially since it's SmackDown, a show that hasn't been really that good for like a year now. Now, the show kicked off with San Diego's own Rey Mysterio. Obviously, big pop for Rey Mysterio right here, and he announced that he's entering the Royal Rumble match. Now, the good news is the Royal Rumble is looking really good, so I'm wondering why the shows don't feel the same. But I mean, look at the talent. Roman Reigns, John Cena, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, possibly Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio right now. It's like an all-star Royal Rumble match. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again, it's a bit of a hot take. I wish these Royal Rumble matches would be like 40-man Rumble matches, because at this point, like, we have so much talent. So much talent. Then you want someone from NXT, you want some returns. It needs to be a 40-man Royal Rumble match. Kevin Owens interrupted Rey Mysterio with the championship right now. Great t-shirt. Obviously, he's acting like a champion. Says, promise me when you win that Royal Rumble match, you're going to pick me. And Rey Mysterio says, honestly, you're not even a champion. This championship belongs to Cody. Obviously, Kevin Owens didn't appreciate that, started yelling at Rey Mysterio. Rey says, you're reminding me of my son Dominic right now. They started fighting, and of course, Nick Aldis sets up a match between the two. Now, it's actually a pretty big deal. I mean, Kevin Owens is such a huge fan of Rey Mysterio. We all know that. He keeps wearing his shirts on that, so I'm happy Kevin Owens got that moment. I believe we never actually got that match. The big thing about this episode of SmackDown was that both Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes refused to sign the contract first. Fail to see why does that matter? Fail to see why does that matter. Just sign the goddamn contract. You both want this match. We got a non-title match between Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Seems like Nia Jax is now in the tag team division. She's not focusing on the women's championship as of right now. So far, good day, good day. Nia Jax accidentally dropped her ass on her tag team partner. Bianca and Naomi took advantage and won the match. So Nia Jax is one step further from any championships. I am so sad about that, you know. We got Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. This was actually a really good match. I mean, a lot of people keep criticizing the Usos, both Jimmy and Jay, that they only have a few moves. I don't know what it is about this match. Maybe Carmelo Hayes, I mean, this guy is just such a treat to watch, but I actually really enjoyed this one. Both men got protected though, because Jimmy got attacked by the Bloodline, and of course, they attacked Carmelo too. He really thought these are his boys. The thing with Carmelo Hayes, like, man, I don't know what WWE are necessarily doing with him. Like, he gets a lot of TV time, which is great, but I'm never really excited about his segments. I only get excited once I see this guy in the ring. WWE are making a mistake into making him feel like he's not a threat. Just talks a lot and gets punched in the face. Really reminds me of Austin Theory a couple of years ago, actually. Now, Solo comes out, and he just got booed out of the arena. His face told it all. He didn't need to say anything. He's devastated by his loss against Roman Reigns. What was so interesting about it, though, Jacob actually cut a full promo talking about how he's just getting started. He got attacked by LA Knight. Obviously, LA Knight is outnumbered, and we got the Choo-Choo Man Braun Strowman. This set up a match between Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu at Saturday night's main event. It's a semi-premium live event, so I'm actually cool with that. Jacob Fatu is must-watch. He's really good, and I'm interested in where the storyline is actually going. I mean, Solo just left. Is Jacob gonna be the man now? For a while. Jacob is gonna be the one who talks, the one who's going to lead this faction with two men. So we'll see where that goes. Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza was actually a good match, and I'm glad WWE are using Los Garza in tag team matches right now, because they've been on the roster for like 2 years now and we barely saw them, but lately we do get to see them wrestle. Like I've said, the wrestling was really good. I like their moveset, they're really talented. Both teams actually. Pretty Deadly got involved, but Los Garza still lost the match, which is a bit of a bummer. We also got B-Fab versus Piper Niven. Pretty easy victory for Piper Niven right here, but then Michin came out with a kendo stick because obviously she's focusing on that mid-card championship, which I think matches we're going to get at Saturday night's main event. I could be wrong. We got Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens, which for me was the highlight of the show. Again, knowing the story, knowing how much Kevin Owens actually respects Rey Mysterio, I really like that, and they actually kind of used that in this storyline as well. It goes to show you Kevin Owens is an absolute a-hole. Even though he cheated, he won the match. We got a handshake, and he was about to do the pile driver to Rey Mysterio, but of course we got Cody Rhodes with the save. Oh, that is something you don't do. Rey Mysterio is a sweetheart. Bae. Rey is Bae, people. Rey Mysterio is Bae. You don't disrespect Rey Mysterio. Kevin Owens? This is something you never knew, but I'm actually quite a respected man. The whole locker room loves me, Ray. I'm a bit of a booyaka. A bit of a development, though. At Saturday night's main event, Nick Aldis said the championships are already gonna be suspended above the ring because at Royal Rumble we're going to get the ladder match, and they're gonna have to sign the contract. So I kind of like that. You know, Saturday night's main event is semi-premium live event. Having a segment or two is actually pretty awesome. We'll see what Hogan does, man. Oh, I can't wait to hear the reaction. The main event was the WWE Women's Championship match. Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton. This was a pretty big night for Tiffany because now she's her own girl. She's a champion, the first championship title defense. You need to prove that you can do this on your own. The match was actually pretty alright, and Bayley did kinda get distracted. I mean, her focus wasn't full on Tiffany Stratton, but Tiffany actually won the match. She pinned Bayley 1, 2, 3. She's still your WWE Women's Champion, which was expected. Nothing significant though, nothing crazy. But WWE teased the return of Charlotte Flair, which is the big match right here. Tiffany versus Charlotte. Until then, everything is a bit of a, you know, side story, but this is the match WWE are going to do. I wouldn't be surprised, and this will make a lot of people angry, maybe Charlotte Flair is going to win the Royal Rumble match. Oh man, the internet is gonna be pissed. You know, my thing with Charlotte is that I'm not a hater, I actually like her. She was at one point my favorite women's wrestler in like 2000 and maybe 16, I don't know. My problem with her is that she doesn't evolve, she doesn't change her character one bit. That was always the problem with Charlotte Flair. We don't need a complete overhaul, we just need little tweaks in her character. But this is the money match, people. The princess versus the queen. I can already predict all the promos. Anyway, people, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, the great one, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.